Hi, I'm Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
I'm Chris, also co-founder, president, and the technical guy behind Keto Chow. And I got the mics working.
You got this.
Pleased with myself. Anyway, if you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make keto easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon. Ding, ding. For daily updates on all our Keto Chow happenings. These live streams help us be accountable and stay on track. Thanks so much for joining us on our keto journey.
There you go. So, let's see. Got Elizabeth on. She was super early.
Super early.
That unicorn was on too. Debbi was on. You said hi.
I did.
That's kind of weird.
I'm not weird.
Older Pennsylvania wanted to know if anybody had used the base powder and if it has scoop in it. Yes, it does. It's a little teeny tiny scoop.
Oh.
Yep. Someone at our front door. Why would they be at our front door?
I guess I can go check. Does it look like anyone you know?
Looks like a kid.
Is it a kid that needs to be taken care of?
Let's see. Emily's on. Madeline's on. Oh, no, it's...
Should I go get it?
I guess you can if you want to.
I guess I'll go get it.
Okay. It's our friend. Anyway, so Madeline says, happy Tuesday night, all. Ginger says, hey, Chow fam. I broke my 11-mile record today and did 14.6 miles for today's total in walking and running. Candace says, I'm having some Bubba's double chocolate ungreen. It's keto friendly. Huh. Sean says, I'm ear hustling. Coworker is sick and I'm working extra hours. Let's see. Leanne says, good evening, Keto Chow family. Patrice is on. Carlos says, good evening, everyone. Lynette is on as well. I told Lynette that she was having problems with her work phone. And I'm like, Lynette, it's time to go home. You've got like a 7-hour drive. Anyway, she lives pretty far away from where work is. Debbie says, I love your shirt, Chris. Mine arrived, but it's in yellow. Ooh. JRTI says, we love the savory chicken soup. Linda's on, so is Sylvia. Songbird says, hello, Chris and Miriam and all. Maria's on as well, says here. TC's Life is on. Fanny says, hi all. Maitreya, we missed you this morning. Jerry says, having a delicious orange cream keto chow for dinner. So delicious. Glad I bought a go pack. GRTI says, we're in our 3rd week of keto chow. Linda says, hi there, loving keto chow in St. George. Is it raining in St. George? It's raining here. There's a bunch of lightning as well. Got that giant high pressure zone that's over the northwest. And so we've got a bunch of weird weather going on over here. Anyway, Jan says, hi from Alabama. I just have to know, do you have a banjo on your knee? I gotta know. Anyway, he says, I'm really tired from helping install floor molding, but I'm here. What kind of molding are you guys installing, Keith? We installed some, well, when we did our renovation, they took out the old stuff. And so the old stuff was like this tall. So the new stuff is like this tall, so they can cover up the old stuff. Amy says, will you restock Pina Colada? I went to order some last night and it was sold out. That's correct. The Pina Colada is sold out. As far as availability. Hey, thanks for asking that. We haven't yet made an announcement about the availability of that flavor in that size. As soon as we are ready to make an announcement, you'll probably hear about it first on our live stream and then on the Facebook support group, and followed by our website and our email list. So stay tuned. I can only do that because Miriam's not here. Oh, she's here. Anyway, yeah, there's no formal announcement made about the availability of that flavor this time. So anyway, Songbird said we had a power outage for a second.
Oh.
So I am ready to go.
You're ready to
with
go.
my backup live stream device in case there's a power outage.
Oh, well, it did just start raining.
Well, and there's lightning and thunder. Yeah. There's, I don't know.
We haven't had a power outage in a long time.
We have not had a power outage in a long time. But in the event that there is one, I'm ready to go. So, yes, I'm glad that you guys' power is back, Songbird.
Yeah.
Chad says good evening to all. Debbie says only 18 days until the meetup. Jan, who lives in Alabama, does not have a banjo.
Oh, not on her knee?
The heck? I know.
Banjo.
Well, he says greeting from colorful Colorado.
Colorado.
Hoofnet is on, says good evening, Chow Hounds. What, you all got rain? Yay. We have way too much here, flooding and mud. Well, the funny thing is in southern Utah, I saw a thing that Zion National Park has flash flooding going on because they're getting crazy heavy rain just in short amounts of time.
Oh, yeah, because because we have no water whatsoever. Everything is dry, like all the little riverbeds and stuff are dry. And so when we get a lot of rain at one time, it just floods everywhere.
Hey,
Because there's nowhere to go.
a couple of years ago, I was watching Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Okay.
As one does, right? That is actually the same episode where I learned that as temperature decreases, the ability of air to hold moisture, water, humidity decreases as well, which is why you get condensation and why Antarctica is one of the driest places on Earth because there's no moisture in the air.
Okay.
Anyway, he also showed that if you have extremely dry soil, it does the same thing that a really dry sponge does.
Oh.
If you take a sponge and dump water on it,
it'll just
all the water goes
roll
right
off. It doesn't soak it up because it's too dry.
It's too dry.
That's our ground.
That's our ground. Well, especially in southern Utah. Mm-hmm. And so, the water it rolls right past it. It doesn't soak up at all.
And then it just makes messes.
It makes horrible messes. And the water moves extremely fast, which is why you get really bad flash flooding.
Yeah, which we don't get that very often because we just don't usually get that much water.
But then you get a little bit of moisture and it's able to absorb it. Mm-hmm. Moisture.
Yep, and it is raining right now.
Okay. He says we're installing quarter round along the baseboards.
Oh, yay.
Nice.
I want to see a picture.
Matreya says, work has been a lot, but I did eat apple pie, Keto Chow pancakes.
Well, that's delicious.
Look at you.
We're almost out of apple pie.
Nan says, hey, Chris and Miriam. Amy says, you are one silly guy.
Yeah.
But I'm super sad. It's the hub's favorite. We have one packet right here.
Don't tell them that. That's our secret packet.
Actually, there's
Colada.
another
one on the floor.
We have 2 packets.
These are our show everybody the packets that have been sitting here since we launched.
I actually forgot that they were here.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to use them up.
I want to make it with the coconut oil. I think that's my favorite. Okay. So yummy.
Yep. Now we did have somebody who is on the Facebook support group. This isn't something that's on the live notes, but I wanted to address it. Somebody asked, why are so many of the large bags of Keto Chow out of stock?
Oh, yes. And we actually do know why that is. We're having a hard time getting hold of the magnesium malate that we normally get.
Which is manufactured in Utah.
We should have got them by now, and that's why we're out, which is funny because we have a lot of the singles, so we've been making them into those go packs. And maybe we shouldn't be discounting those quite as much. Okay. But we will get them soon. We just are not sure when. And so, but at least we do know that there are the singles of those flavors. So if you do want them, you'll probably not die. I will probably not die, right? We'll probably be fine.
Jerry says thunderbolt and lightning are very frightening.
Very frightening.
Kat says good evening. Let's see. Ronna says, Chris, have I done you something because you skipped my hello 2 days in a row? Oh, sorry. Let's try this again, shall we? Good evening, Bears and Chef.
Yes.
I thought you read yours last time.
I think you did. Well, I don't know.
Songbird says
he sometimes skips it because his brain goes to
It's true. Well, I'm trying to figure out where people are talking to each other and where people are talking to us.
Yeah.
Because we don't have time to read off the comments
talking to each other.
Which
we want you to talk to each other.
Yes, it's starting to rain in southern Utah. It's
raining in St. George. Yep. So the kids were going to go swimming in the backyard of the neighbors, and they were all wandering over there in their swimming suits. And then they said, change of plans.
There's this old movie called The Windows of Heaven. and it has this old guy.
I don't think he says it quite the way you said it.
I will show it to you, and he says it just like
Okay.
that. It's
Is it a
right
church
in
movie?
this-
Is that
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I don't know what
Songwriter
you're talking
says, good one, Jerry. Let's see, Songwriter says, Mamma Mia. Jared
Mamma
TI
mia.
says, what is the average
Mamma
weekly
mia.
weight loss for having 3 Keto Chow meals on a daily basis?
That is something we cannot answer
Banana for scale.
because everybody is not the same.
Yeah, there is no average weight loss.
I would say whatever your average weight loss is on 3 Keto Chows a day.
Well, and the thing about it is, Keto Chow isn't something magic. It just happens to be a very easy way to get the right nutrition on a keto diet. But it's the ketogenic diet that's doing all the magic. So, and it's not so much the ketogenic diet that's doing all the magic.
It's your body.
Your body.
It's your body when
you're
it's
getting the junk out of the way.
Given proper nutrition, it can thrive.
So I guess to turn it back on you, what is the average weekly weight loss of your body when you aren't consuming excessive carbohydrates? That's going to be something
that's hard.
Pretty
hard
unique
to
you, unfortunately.
Verify.
KS says I got my Chow box yesterday, and what would have been my mom's birthday. It was a special surprise. We're sorry to hear you lost your mom, but good to hear you got it.
Well, happy birthday to her anyway, because she's still loved.
Anthony's here. Says, I'm on alive.
Hey.
Slimer says, mine too, Jerry. Magic Mia says, hi guys from New Jersey.
Hey.
Jerry says, on eBay, a Pina Colada will be going for $20 a pack.
Don't tell anyone.
No. Let's see. Anthony says, no spoilers. Love the Chow Club this month.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it.
I think this is out of stock because I bought them all. The interesting thing is yesterday, as the stock was going down.
Yeah.
And we were like, we actually sent out an email saying, it's going out of stock, guys. This is kind of your last call. We didn't see rampant, wanton, like people buying like 300 of them or anything like that. Well, number one, that's really expensive. But number two, we think that people were trying to leave some for other people.
Be courteous. That's so nice.
Based on the purchasing patterns, that's what we think was happening.
Yeah.
So, and it says, no spoilers. Love the Chow Club this month. That's right, because we're not talking about it for another
till the first
2 days.
Yeah.
Debbie says that's nuts. They make it basically right next door and you can't get your hands on it.
I know, crazy, huh?
Elizabeth says thunder roars, go indoors.
Yes.
Devin's on.
Hi, Devin.
Teresa is on as well. No, she's not Han. Lewis says, good evening, Chow hands. I got the Aldi cheese fries and cooked them up for the kids tonight.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we don't have an Aldi.
Nope.
So
I even said Aldi's. What the heck? It's just Aldi.
No, it's Aldi's. It's like Joann's. It's just Joann's.
Rihanna says, good evening. All headed back to pick up my Keto Chow box. So excited. Meg says, good evening. Can't hear you.
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
Other people can. It sounds like that's I mean, you can't hear me for me to tell you to reload.
Oh, yeah. Maybe try reloading or restarting or something.
Denia says, blasphemy. Keto Chow is magic.
It is. It
Jerry
is
says,
magic.
It's magical. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Heather's on. Let's see. Meg says, no, I can. Weird. Okay. Denia says, Jerry is rich then. Yeah, because he bought them all. Andrew says, it's raining in the Chicago area nonstop. And finally, my yard is green.
Yay. Green. It's awesome.
Maitreya got her Chow Club. Tasty Keto Chow.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Summer says, I feel much better when I use at least 1 Keto Chow a day. I did 3 today.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did 1. I did 1.
You only did 1?
Yeah, because you know why? I made the kids breakfast. So when I made the kids breakfast, I made myself breakfast. So I had a fried egg with a piece of pepper jack cheese on it and a hot piece of ham.
Okay, and then for lunch you had Keto Chow made with Magnesium Drops.
Yeah, I did. And it was good. And I liked it.
Magnesium Drops was a component, not the primary component.
Yeah, it wasn't just Magnesium Drops as the water.
Kat says, I got the email, ordered 5 for that reason.
Hey.
Shauna
nice,
says, I
Kat.
didn't order extra Pina Colada, going on to ration the ones I have.
Hey, that's smart.
Ginny points out my blue tongue. Sure like to know if you're testing blueberry. No, I was drinking a Mountain Diet. No, a Mountain Dew
those
Zero.
Frosty one.
The
What are
blue
they
one.
called?
I can't remember.
Frosty.
But that's why my tongue is blue.
Let's see. Is that what you were doing when I was not here? Goofing off?
No, I was doing it a second ago. Anthony says
you
you
wanna
can
know where
always
I
do it
was?
with magnesium glycinate. We actually tested
We did
magnesium
test
glycinate,
magnesium glycinate.
and it
It
tasted okay.
It did taste okay.
I'd prefer to use the magnesium drop stuff
Mm-hmm.
just because it will come along with additional trace minerals.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
And yeah, if we're going to have to change the label, we might as well
Change the
like
label.
go all in.
Yeah.
So
The glycinate had like a little bit of a bitter flavor too.
yeah.
I noticed. It wasn't too bad though.
Anthony says the audio is good.
Oh,
You know
thank
why?
you.
It's because I left the microphones at work.
No, that's not why. That's why
and had
we
to
have it.
drive back to work. I did the microphone drive of shame.
After you did the computer drive of
After
shame.
the computer drive of shame, went back and got them because yeah. Laura says, how about finding secondary sources for your chow ingredients? Love the stuff. Yeah, well, and that's
what we're doing right now.
yeah, that's what we're doing for the magnesium. Shauna says I got my chow club too. Andrew says Aldi is what we in the Chicago area call it. Oh yeah, Aldi's. As far as pina colada, I ordered 35. I'm not running out. Well, this is I was tempted to buy more pina colada when they were running out, but decided 30 would likely last me until you guys get more.
Yeah. Okay, who tried pina colada with the coconut cream? Because I still haven't. Lynette, did you do that today? Because I didn't ask you.
Okay.
She was going to make ice cream out of it, and I didn't find out if that happened. I spent the day in the conference room today.
You did. It was funny. You guys were having like a big picture meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of figuring out the overarching themes for the next couple months.
Yep.
And I had this meeting, and then I went to the bathroom, and then I had another meeting, and then I went to the bathroom again.
Yeah. You apparently had some bathroom today.
It was just funny. Jerry says I had 2 keto chows today. Caramel macchiato.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of stuff, what is the keto chow flavor of the week?
Oh, yes, flavor of the week. We're doing Go Pack still. So we have the Go Pack of cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. Is it a strong chocolatey cookie flavor?
I would say it's more like the cream flavor.
Yeah, the cream in the cookies and cream. It does have a little bit of
but if you want it to be more like cookie, I'd add a little bit of cocoa powder.
A little bit of cocoa powder in the cookies and cream
goes a long way.
Is freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I mean like a little bit, not a lot.
Wilder, Pennsylvania says label changes are rough. Yeah,
they are.
Going to have
it's
to
going to be a pain in the butt.
That goes over. And wait, just to change the magnesium from magnesium malate to magnesium chloride. I wonder if they're the same length and if we can get little teeny stickers.
Oh, that's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's going to be the nightmare.
With little nail pieces.
Well, and that's why I think it'll be easier to make a sticker that's the entire block of ingredients.
That's such a pain.
Because the block of ingredients on each package of Keto Chow.
No, it's so big.
Is exactly the same size. The block is.
Yeah.
So it'll be easier.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah,
why don't we just take a marker and just cross it and put it at the bottom?
Magnesium malate right there.
Oh, it's right at the top. Oh, it's at the side.
Yeah, but hitting the malate.
Fine, we'll figure it out.
It's going to be easier to just go.
Take a magnifying glass and put it on.
Yep. Songbird says, "Oh no, Chris." And she says, "If you change the magnesium, is it going to increase the cost of chow, or will it be more cost effective for you?"
It should be the same.
It should.
Yeah.
Our supplier magnesium basically
they
said
said
they're
they
going
would
to
match
the
it.
cost.
Yeah.
So they're
really
that's
good for us.
Let's see. It should cost more. Anyway, Lori says loving Keto Chow and got a few peeps.
Thank you.
Lisa says I have a new Cuisinart ice cream maker coming, but I called Cuisinart first, and they made me go through Amazon to get it replaced. Are you serious?
Oh.
Like they're doing it wrong.
I'm sorry. Well, and it could be that they are just wanting to make sure that Amazon replaces it with one that they already have if it was their shipping problem.
Okay.
So, but I'm glad that you did call because
I'm glad that you did.
Sometimes it works out.
So Squally says, saw you guys on Loving on Keto today with Wendy and Harry.
Fun, huh? I finally finished it. It took me the whole day to finish watching it. But it was good. I said, I wish I would have done my hair differently. Had a weird hair day. Of course, I'm having a weird hair day today, too. Whatever.
Yeah. Anthony
So
says,
funny.
you just need to buy another video
Just hair.
rig and audio for the house. But the thing is, I've got the stuff. It's not that hard. Well, I don't have to bring the computer to and from work anyway.
I know.
And I have to bring the video capture device. I might as well just bring the audio. And I'm bringing this thing anyway.
Well, and really, we could just do it at the warehouse, but
Yeah, we
we'd
could.
like to be here where our kids are, which, you know, one is home right now. But we like to be where, you know, we spend less time going to and from. And what happens when you go into the office? You work a little. You know, you can't help it.
The Roomba's running right now.
I know.
John says I did pina colada with coconut cream, and it was
Do you like it?
delicious. And Kat says I've done that with the coconut cream.
Oh, good. I want to try that.
Lynette says I made pina colada with pina colada ice cream.
Yes,
with coconut cream
that's
today.
what I wanted to know, and it was good.
Yeah, Lynette was having a little bit of problems running the ice cream maker today.
Oh, dang
You
it.
have to align the lid just right.
That one is a little squirrely because the lid has that little thing inside. I did the same thing last week, and I didn't line it up right, and then it got hard, and it happened to me twice in a row. Dang it.
Linda is hoping pina colada comes out in large bags.
Oh, man. I don't even think we've thought of that yet.
Andrew says I make pina colada out of the coconut cream or the coconut manna. It's really good both ways.
Thank you.
Kelly says I got my
Thanks for
chocolate.
sharing that.
It's another great box.
Thank you.
Rhonda says the chocolate is a great deal no matter what flavors or surprises are in the box. Love the July box. I look forward to them each month.
Nice.
Liv
so
says
happy.
I did coconut cream. Failed at ice cream because I have a blend tech, not Vitamix. But it was delicious as a slushy shake. All the same.
I mean, it's still delicious, right? Shake feels good.
Devin says I'm loving cookies and cream with chocolate mint.
Nice. That's a good
cookies and
idea.
cream mixed with chocolate mint is freaking amazing.
Okay, I'm going to try it.
Let's see. Madeline says I use a quarter cup of coconut cream in my pina colada shake with almond milk and water. So yummy. I have one in the fridge to make ice cream tomorrow.
Nice.
And Shauna wants to know, will we be going back to the other magnesium or staying with this new one?
That is a good question we haven't quite decided on an answer for.
I am of the opinion that we're going to stick with it.
We might.
The one thing that he said was, hey, if we're going to do this going forward, it would be nice if you guys give me a projection.
I know.
Because
I know that will be a huge deal if we don't give them a projection.
Well, the current orders that we have in with our supplier right now require, well, if you want to,
it's like a year and a half.
It's 4,400 pounds of magnesium powder.
For like how long? Do you know?
That's like 6 months worth.
Yeah, that's a lot of powder. That's a lot of magnesium.
That's the stuff that we've already placed orders for and we're waiting on.
And
this isn't new stuff that we're like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should order it now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Ginny says, wait a minute, Mr. Blue Time. What's this about? Did you say Frosty Mountain Dew Zero? So where and how was the... It's Mountain Dew Zero. It's Frostbite, I think is what it's called.
It has a shark on it.
It's got a blue shark. They sell it at Walmart.
It tastes like blue raspberry. Oh, also,
It tastes like blue slushies.
We're not supposed to tell you to drink it because we're supposed to tell you to be healthier than that. Drink water.
Okay.
But we like it.
Simon says, I'm going to try pina colada ice cream tomorrow.
Yeah.
Phyllis says, if you make pina colada with coconut milk, do you use it in place of the water or use just water? I'm using coconut oil.
I would say I would use that in place of the fat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But you could mix it up if you wanted to have a little bit of heavy cream, a little bit of coconut. Because the coconut cream is, I mean, I don't know how fatty it really is. So it'll depend on what else you're eating for the rest of the day. But I would use this fat.
Okay. So TC's Life says stickers are a good job for the monkeys to do.
Yes.
Devin says that's honestly what I would do, Chris, as someone who's done marketing materials before. Yeah. It's a little bit easier to hit the big thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Heather says I'll come to Utah and put on stickers for apple pie keto chow.
Oh, so if we get apple pie, you'll work for free? Tempting.
It's almost worth it right there. Sean says that was a fun video with loving keto.
Plus, I get to see you, Heather. I think that's a deal. I'll do it.
Andrea says Cuisinart was bogus for that. Winter sent me a new one straight from their company. See?
Oh.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's all right. That's what company's supposed to do.
I know.
Rhonda
Not
says-
everybody's the same, right?
Yep. Rhonda says, I tried pina colada with coconut cream. Delicious. Also mixed with key lime.
Oh.
Casey Smurf is on. Says, hello, Bair. He's got a nice haul with a big bag of caramel macchiato.
Nice.
Raspberry cheesecake and 15 pina coladas from last week. And then my Amazon credit card paid for half a bag of chocolate mint on them. That's awesome. Anthony wants apple pie in big bags too. And Casey Smurf
Anthony,
says,
are you going to come sticker for us?
yeah. Casey Smurf says, it was nice to stock up again, and I love pina coladas. Super pineapple-y to me.
Yeah.
Blue says, I saw Khalifa Farms toasted coconut today at Aldi sweetened with milk
Oh,
and
that's
without carrot.
good.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nice. Did you get some or did you just see it?
Let's see. Leanne says, my refurbished, brand new to me Cuisinart ice cream maker arrived today. Power works and it turns. Ice cream tomorrow.
Hey, that's so awesome.
Amy says, was pina colada the fastest sold out item today? How many weeks did it take?
Nope. I don't think it was the fastest. But it was
From
pretty
introduction to sold out, I actually think that it was.
well,
It's
flavor?
because we didn't get a lot of it.
we did the Christmas box sold out on Black
Oh,
Friday
yes.
really like that day.
That's true.
So-
Okay. I wasn't thinking about one. Elizabeth said, my Cuisinart from Amazon, it broke within a month. Bigger one, and they sent me a paid return sticker for UPS. And it was simple, but I was a bit disappointed that it broke so quickly.
Oh yeah,
no
that's
kidding.
such a bummer.
Casey Smurf says, I'd be blown away if pina colada didn't come in big bags. It sold so fast. Andrew says, I try not to comment on the subscription boxes, but you guys really hit it this month for me. I have serious vacation tropical drinks planned.
Nice.
Shaz says, holy magnesium, Batman.
Right?
Vanessa says, wow, if that much magnesium didn't help me sleep, nothing would.
That would
do a lot
definitely
more.
help you with the colonoscopy.
Yes, it would.
Right?
Jerry says, that's over 2.2 tons of magnesium powder.
Yeah.
It's
That's
I
6
think
months
it's
worth. That's a lot.
Well,
Roughly.
the actual amount that we need, I think, is 2,600 kilograms.
Hmm.
Easy Cells says, good evening, everyone. This is Baby Shark. Rhonda says, have you ever watched the 2KK cheese stick review video today?
Oh, that just came
The
out.
game was hilarious.
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched that at all.
I put it in my watch later.
I didn't even see the.
It like was today.
Okay. Sylvie wants to know, will we have apple pie again? Hey, thanks for asking that. We haven't yet made an announcement about the availability of that flavor in that size. As soon as we are ready to make an announcement, you'll probably hear about it first on our live stream and then on the Facebook support group, and followed by our website and our email list. So stay tuned. I just couldn't help myself.
Lame.
Yep, we don't have an official announcement about that. Let's see. Linda says, hoping to try apple pie mixed with salted caramel. Says, yeah, feed me Keto Chow.
Apple pie and salted caramel sounds
Matreya says, coconut milk from the can, sub is fat. Coconut milk from the carton in fridge, replace water.
Yes,
is
because the coconut milk, it doesn't have the fat. So yeah,
Yes.
I think I have the
Coconut
same
milk
opinion
versus
as you.
coconut cream, but I think they're actually just both coconut milk, aren't they? Isn't coconut cream just coconut milk with
Coconut
coconut
cream
oil?
has like the fat in it, a little bit.
Just
of
coconut
fat in
oil,
it.
right?
Kind of.
All right. Rhonda says, I like to give a friend of mine wanted one of my packs of apple pie, and I just couldn't let them
Oh,
two, and I'm holding on to it.
I actually don't know if we even have any more here
We don't. Here,
because
we
I
don't.
keep wanting to make one, and I think we might be out.
Casey Smurf says, had the big bags of chocolate been set up for a while. I didn't mind buying from Amazon, but I'd rather have my Keto Chow rewards.
Oh, I know.
They
I think they
sold
just
out
barely sold out. Like what, last
right when we did
week or 2 weeks
mint
ago?
as the chocolate as the flavor.
Oh, that's right. We should
So
have
it was
not
about
had that for
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, sorry. Well, we really should have had it by now. But that magnesium problem. So it'll be fine.
Yep. Jerry says it's only
Everything's fine.
320 days until the low carb cruise.
Yeah.
Says Chris, when you change your magnesium, will it cause more moving problems? If you know what I mean, it should not.
It should be
magnesium
just about the
chloride-
same, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is Chris went rogue again. He says the warden is making us some pina colada ice cream with coconut cream. So,
Speaking of the
Bethany
paper,
had a question. Does freezing Keto Chow cancel out any of the nutrients?
I would say no. I think it's only if you heat it, does it? What do you think?
That's correct. So what degrades vitamins
Is the heat.
is heat.
And it's over 120 degrees.
Yeah. And it's not if you hit 120 degrees,
They're
it's
gone.
not anything.
Yeah.
It's when it starts to degrade at 120 degrees. Or rather, that's if you stay below this, nothing's going to happen.
Yep.
And well, guess what? Frozen is below 120 degrees.
It's short.
And so, yeah, freezing keto chow is just fine. Shauna says, "Hey Miriam, have some apple pie. Do I need to send you a couple?"
You're so nice.
You don't need to send her any.
I think I'm
fine.
okay. There's a lot of other flavors I could use.
Jerry says, "I only have about 4 to 5 more chocolate mint shakes left from my big bag. Looking forward to clearing the container for a different bag flavor."
It's a good idea.
Rhonda thinks it's funny when I do that. At least somebody thinks I'm funny.
What did you do?
I did the
Oh. Somebody does think you're funny.
I also have this button.
That puts a bear on my face.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Okay, Debbi asked, what is the best way to pack an open, meaning not sealed, big bottle of daily minerals for travel?
Oh, I don't know, because the lid does leak, right?
The lid can leak.
I would pack it so that you could keep it upright if you possibly could. If you're going in a car or something, put in a cup holder if you can. If you're going in a suitcase, then maybe like saran wrap the lid around.
That's actually why we introduced the
Yeah,
lid
we've
bottle.
got the little tiny one, and it has that little tiny lid that's hard to get on and off. And the reason why we have that droplet is so that you can pack it in your suitcase.
You can actually take the dropper out and leave it out.
Yeah, but if you want to put it in your suitcase or something, I would put the drop.
No, the dropper doesn't impact how well it seals.
Oh, really?
It's just it's convenient for dispensing it. You can take that dropper off and the lid seals tight.
Do you know what you could do with the big one? If you were going to do the big one?
What?
Open the lid and put saran wrap on the top and then close the lid.
I still want to do it. I want to take the big
What
bottle.
about packing tape?
No, because let's say you're flying. The only way you can transfer
You'd have to put it in your luggage.
Is checked luggage, and there is no way. Okay, the amount of minerals dissolved in the daily minerals is as concentrated as it can possibly be.
It's pretty heavy
before it crystallizes.
Yeah.
And it actually does weigh more than water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely weighs more.
I think it weighs like 400 grams more than.
If you think about it, it's like rocks, right? Minerals.
It's rocks dissolved in
rocks, right? And so it's like a rock in the water.
If you spill the daily minerals.
Oh yeah, it'll look like you just took salt and put it all over your clothes.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
And it would be so terrible if that leaked inside of your luggage.
It would be terrible because that would be a huge mess. And you could probably get it out of your clothes though. You just have to wash them. It'd be like if you when you're on the road where there's salt and you splash salt from the ground onto your pants or something, it would be like that.
Yep.
So that reminds me of the story when we first got the daily minerals. We were talking to our employees and telling them that this is minerals and trying to explain what it is, and I said, yeah, if it spills, it'll get salt all over the outside. And they're like, no, and I'm like, yes, it will. Grab me a paper plate, and I dumped a bunch on a paper plate. I said, tomorrow that'll be salt, and they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, it will. Watch. So
it took a little while.
It did. It probably took 2 days.
Yeah.
But all the water evaporated out, and then it was just minerals. So if you ever want, a fun science experiment, just dump out some minerals.
And it's slightly green because of the.
It's funny. It's like a teal color.
Let's see. Casey Smith says, I also made a big batch and ended up having Buffalo Wild Wings today. Ooh. So I set things back. Would keto chows I made on Thursday still be good on Thursday?
I would say so, unless your heavy cream was borderline.
Yeah, I don't know. So
smell it and then taste it. And if it tastes good, you're probably fine.
I've had heavy cream keto chows that were still good 8 days later.
I have had them too, but
I also had ones that were not good the next day.
Depends on the heavy cream.
Well, right? So the problem with heavy cream, and Casey Smurf says, my heavy whipping cream was late July. So it has an expiration date on there. That's for unopened. Once you open it, it becomes faster.
It
actually says on the package, most of them says, use within 7 days. of opening.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you open it, then bacteria can get in there and it starts to
Degrade.
degrade.
Right? Mm-hmm.
So if it's freshly opened heavy cream, it may last 8 or 9 days. If you opened the heavy cream a while ago, it may only last a couple days.
I'd just open it and smell it and taste it. If it's questionable, just dump it. Yeah, that's sad. That happens sometimes. But I bet your wings were delicious.
Huffin' said, oh yeah, I bet. Huffin' says Brian has several containers and they're all labeled. That works for me. He's doing such a good job. They're the Better Homes and Garden kind.
It's amazing.
With a little seal lid to it. I like that Brian knows that. He is doing so good.
He's so awesome.
Linda says it's a good thing he's not here. We don't want him to get a big head.
Yeah.
What the heck? Linda says I ordered the big bottle of electrolytes and didn't realize that it was a refill bottle, so I don't have the dropper. Traveling from St. George to northern Utah.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering if you sell the dropper or small bottle. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the electrolyte drops, for example, there's a little teeny bottle you can buy by itself.
Yep.
There's a 250 milliliter bottle, which
too bad we didn't have them right here.
I know, which can fill up the little bottle 10 times, and it comes with the little bottle.
Yeah.
And then there's a really big bottle that will fill up the little bottle
that
like
doesn't come with the little
times.
bottle.
And that one doesn't, yeah. And so if you got the really big bottle, the 550 milliliter bottle, yeah, it doesn't come with the little tiny guy. That only comes by itself or with the medium size one. And on the magnesium drops, we only have the little tiny one and the medium one. We don't have the really big one.
Yep. Although I probably use the magnesium drops more than anything else.
Yep.
Yeah, I use the magnesium drops every single night.
What's also really funny is somebody who had bought a whole bunch of the medium bottles of electrolyte drops sent a package to me telling me that I need to find a way to not include the little bottle in every one of the medium-sized bottle packages because I'm wasting natural resources.
That's right. So what they could have done is just bought the big.
Yeah, they could have just bought the big one that doesn't come with that.
With the free little. But it's okay. I don't know if
You've got Songbird that says, I want the little bottle. I gave my big bottle to my friend here in Oklahoma. She was dehydrated.
Oh, you're so nice. Yeah, so who is it that said they were going to come? Linda says she's going to come.
Yeah,
if
Linda.
you come into Keto Chow, make sure to ask for us so we can come meet you.
Yeah.
Because we want to meet you.
Jeremy says, did I show up at the end again? We're only 38 minutes in.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, Andrew says I have a lock cap bottle that my minerals will be in, and then I take duct tape around the lid to seal it, and then put it in a Ziploc bag after I put my food saver
airlock it.
Wow. Okay.
Well, that would make it be probably okay.
Heather and Phil had Buffalo Wild Wings tonight.
Why didn't they have that? So I was in the conference room.
Supposed to have 3 non-Keto Chow meals a week right now.
No, 5.
Oh, is it 5?
It's 5.
Oh.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 90 days. It's about time we figured out what the rules were.
I've been trying to stay at 3, so whatever.
Ruth texted me in the conference room, and she's like, I want some wings. I didn't get wings. And she's like, oh.
She assumed because it was Tuesday you were getting wings?
Because we can get wings sometimes. So she's like, Mom,
I smoked a bunch of
wings. I'm like,
I smoked a bunch of chicken thighs last night, and Max brought them to work.
He did. He brought them, and she brought lunch today too. She brought pizza stuff so she could make it for herself.
Nia says, Miriam, I would sing the I told you so. Rhonda says, one more time, when will apple pie be available? I'm not right now. No. Well, this is 7 minutes. Casey Smurf says, thanks for the advice, and the wings were indeed good. First order of the day, and the cook mistaked my BOGO 15 for 15, 15, and 15.
Wow, leftovers for the win.
Leftovers for the win indeed.
Nice.
Jerry said, I'd love to order from Buffalo Wild Wings, but they cook fries and other cross-contaminants with their wings.
Oh.
So they are not gluten-free.
I could see that.
Now, fries shouldn't cause gluten cross-contamination.
Well, if the fries have
but there may be other
on
stuff
it.
in there.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Jerry says,
but it's never caused me problems with the oils.
Anthony says, walking the dog in Keto Chow live, multitasking for the win.
And You're amazing.
Andrea made her own wings tonight. I ate 6 and chow for dinner. By the way, Jerry.
Sounds amazing, Andrea.
Next time you cook a brisket,
bring it to my house.
Trim off
and I'll
the
eat
fat when you're doing that. You throw it into a crock pot and you render it down. And then you pour that into a casserole dish.
And then put it in the fridge.
Put it in the fridge. And then take a butter knife and cut it up into squares.
And
toss
then
that
put that
into
Ziploc
a
bags.
Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. You now have little squares of beef tallow.
For wings.
And you can fry your own wings.
Why have we not done that yet?
I don't know. We have the
beef tallow.
Let's see. Linda says, yes, I will come into the store tomorrow and get the small electrolyte bottle. I'll sure to say hi. I'll be there about 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Okay.
It's on your schedule. 1 o'clock.
Let me check right now.
Okay. Shauna says, LOL. And it says, I got to eat lunch with your kids today. They are so fun and amazing. I don't care if you're talking about my kids.
Yes, they are. Our kids are amazing.
Our B-dubs didn't start doing BOGO Tuesdays as carryout until the pandemic. Yeah, ours as well. It was always dine-in only. Since they started, I think I've missed maybe 5 weeks in a year and a half. Jerry says Buffalo
should be there
also
at 1 o'clock.
Onion rings in their fryer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah. Anthony says, close my rings. Debbie says, I just had to order containers to keep my bags of Keto Chow in because I'm a bit obsessed and my cupboards are overflowing.
Oh, man. Let's declutter. Let's do it.
Andrew says, I think your kids go to work daily, Chris and Miriam. They don't go daily.
They go
whenever they feel like it.
No, we have them on schedule for the summer, but it's still
the problem is
not perfect.
Working for your parents is not the same as getting a job and understanding what it's like to work for someone. It's not the same thing.
It is better that they have managers that are not us, though.
That is good, yes. But I would actually like them to get a job somewhere else. Because I want them to have perspective. I think they need it. Anyway.
Someday. That's all right.
Says
no. They do. Sam works 3 days a week. Max and Ruth and Kate work 2 days a week, and Haley works all week.
Yep.
So.
TC's like, except for Thursday.
Yes.
TC's life says most fries have a dusting of flour to help crisp them up. Okay. McDonald's is one of the few that don't because they flash freeze their fries. Yes, that makes sense. I have heard about that. Shauna just made bacon in her air fryer. Now barbecue rub beef short ribs. Okay.
Nice.
Simon really loves onion rings. Shauna loves the Bair kids.
We gotta make some keto onion rings.
Casey Smith has a good question. Do all the Bair kids drink Keto Chow or eat keto in general?
So we have 2 that are strict keto by choice, and the rest are keto while they're here because that's what we have in our house.
Yeah, so we don't buy any of that junk. Although one of our kids always goes to the store and brings
and buys some
giant bag of gummy worms.
Yep, and then makes himself sick, and then he wonders why he has a tummy ache.
Yes, actually.
So, but our kids they still eat pretty low carb. They do, when they're at school, they have school lunches, which is garbage, but they're also very skinny and
they're also metabolically flexible.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that they eat they eat pretty well here.
Pretty low carb.
I don't know that it's necessary that they eat ketogenic, but reducing the amount of sugar and processed foods that they get is good.
Yep. But I think that they understand, the principle of keto. They understand what their bodies are doing, and they find the science fascinating. So that's helpful.
Shauna, Bair kids, the rest are keto convenient. Like when Dad makes shakes and leaves it in the fridge.
That's true.
Or when Mom makes a shake.
Today. Okay, so I made 6 shakes or something
like
and I just did a teaspoon of gelatin in each of them. I wanted collagen, but I didn't have any collagen. But I'm like, I want to try it. But I've had it before, but I don't want it thick like Holly. She makes hers like Jello, and she wants to eat it with a spoon, and I just don't love it that way. So, but I'm like, I can handle 1 teaspoon, and I'm like, it's too gloppy. But I'm gonna drink them because I already made them.
Yeah.
And she's so kind to Chris by taking half of mine and half of his instead of making her own because. It's easier. It's already made. So she got in today and she'd taken one of mine and she texted me and she's like, what am I going to do? I got this key lime and it's like a Jello consistency. And I'm like, Thank you for bringing me lunch, I guess. I said, Ruth brought pizza stuff. You can make that.
So what'd you do with the key lime?
It's in the fridge at work.
Oh, well, that's delicious. All right.
This is so funny. I'm like, oh, maybe you should ask before you steal someone's keto chow.
Yeah. Andrew says, I worked for my dad's construction company and he worked the crap out of us. See,
Yeah.
I worked for my dad's business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I also had a job at other places.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a bit of perspective. My take on you work for your parents' company is nepotism means you don't get away with anything
Yeah.
and you're held to a higher standard
Yeah.
and you have to set an example for everybody else.
It's true.
So
So it's a little hard.
I take exception with anyway. Blue Dev says gotta keep the dream alive.
Our kids
Hashtag
are
workers camping fear
good.
factor for Joe.
Our kids are good.
Yes, they are. They are good. Let's see. Sunburst says it's a good thing to help them reduce the sugar and junk. Andrew says, my grandson that was diagnosed with epilepsy is doing great on the keto diet. His words are coming clearer and he's calmed down from the meds that were making him a crazy man.
Isn't that so wonderful? Like, it just, oh, my heart. Oh,
Yep.
It's just so exciting. Like,
That's
you can
fantastic,
hear him.
Andrew.
Our son just did not talk. How long did he not talk? For at least like 6 months?
Yeah, it was a long time.
And I just hearing his voice, and still, even now, like, he hasn't seized in like, I don't know, 10 years or 11 years. Yeah, he hasn't seized in that long. And still, when I hear him sing, it just makes my heart so happy, because when you sing, you have to use all of your brain. You have all of these pathways. That's why
I know.
music therapy is so good for the brain. Did you guys know that? So you have to use all of these pathways. You have to think from one side to the other when you're singing. And man, when he sings, it just makes me so happy. But I just feel you, Andrea, when you hear him start to talk well, and oh, it's just so awesome. It's so wonderful. I'm so happy.
Kim says, I wish I could rewind life 30 years. Low carb was not my choice, and health suffers because of it. Fast forward 20 months, and I finally have feel better.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back in time, too.
Me too, really.
Elizabeth says, I do my best to declutter with only 2 bottom cupboards and 2 upward above. Really, really small kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
I have all sorts of hiding places for my appliances and pans.
Oh, that's so awesome. Good job.
There you go. Now, Michelle had a good question.
Okay.
About blood cholesterol and different fats. So here we go. Quote, for those of you with high cholesterol, do you use avocado oil versus butter? The ones still using butter, have you found that it makes that big of a difference on your cholesterol counts?
So I know that when you did your 100 days and you introduced butter for the first time, we were shocked to see what butter did to your lipids, because it, like with oil, it was higher. And with butter, it just like totally leveled out and went into normal ranges. And so that was really exciting, but that was still, an N+1. Well, it was 2 because Beverly was doing it at the same time. So it's still, your experiment, but it was nice to see with the butter.
Yeah, for any of you who don't know what we're talking about. So if you go on the Keto Chow homepage, and you've got this, by the way, really awesome picture of cookies and cream. But if you go to Why Chow, Keto Chow Science Experiments, and you've got the 100 Days of Keto Chow Experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So in this is the summary of everything that happened in that. And here are the results. I didn't die. And I do really say that in all seriousness, because a lot of people were like, if you do this, you'll die. If you do this, you'll die. Anyway, there's all of the results of my blood tests and Beverly's blood tests.
Yeah.
And the short version of the entire experiment is the best results that we got as far as what it did to our high density lipoprotein and lowering of triglycerides. Butter was best. And second best was heavy cream. So, and there are previous experiments that in this 42 days of Keto Chow experiment, in that one I wanted to see the results of polyunsaturated fats, which are that's what's usually prescribed for people to lower their cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, versus saturated fat versus monounsaturated fat and all that other stuff. Well, there we go. So I'll put that into the comments. But yeah, I'd recommend checking it out because above and beyond all of that is your blood cholesterol numbers actually something you should be concerned about?
And that's a question that you need to research yourself. That's something we've learned a lot about, and I would refer you to cholesterolcode.com. Dave Feldman has been doing research on this for how many years now?
Yep.
A while, and he's got some interesting answers, and we feel like cholesterol is not as scary as you think.
Based on the research I've done, I am not concerned at all about cholesterol numbers. I see it as a bit of a red herring that people fixated on because it could be measured. And they decided that, hey, they thought that having high cholesterol numbers meant that you had a higher incidence or a higher likelihood of having a heart attack. The problem with that theory is billions of dollars and decades of research have been spent trying to prove that theory, and it has not been proven. To the contrary, the opposite of that theory seems to hold true, that it's not having high cholesterol or eating saturated fat that's the problem, that it's actually eating carbohydrates. And a lot of the you should reduce your saturated fat stems from, I don't think you, this is not me saying this, but people saying, I don't think you should eat animals because of ethical reasons. Well, I can't just say that. I need to say, oh, well, animals have cholesterol in them. Did you know that plants don't have cholesterols in them? They have phytosterols in them.
Okay.
There is no cholesterol in plants, period.
Okay.
And if your agenda is that you want to tell people not to eat animal sourced foods, telling people to reduce their cholesterol is a very effective way of conveying that. Anyhow, some other people articulate this argument a lot better than I do. But in the description of this video, both on Facebook and on YouTube, there are 3 links I'd recommend everybody check out. First off, you've got David Diamond, not Larry Diamond, David Diamond. I got it right this time.
Yes.
From Low Carb Houston 2019, speaking about statins and cholesterol.
Okay. And he's really nice.
He's super awesome. We've got cardiologist Nadir Ali from KetoCon 2019, speaking about cholesterol. And then we've got the link to cholesterolcode.com.
Yes.
So I would recommend everybody check those out. And the number one group that really needs to check that out are women that are being prescribed a statin. And we've talked about this before, but women are typically not included in clinical trials. If you're testing a drug's effectiveness, you don't want to test it on women because women have this monthly schedule or monthly cycle.
Yeah, that ruins everything.
It ruins everything. So they will typically test new drugs on men. And when they look at the effectiveness of a statin, the difference between taking a statin and not taking a statin, the absolute risk was a fraction of a percentage. So of 1,000 people, you had, I think it was like 1 or 2 people more had heart attacks than didn't. But the number of people who actually died wasn't statistically significant, the difference between them. The problem is when 1 or 2 people die more, or have heart attacks that were taking statins versus not taking statins, the absolute number, so from 0 to 1,000, is very small. but the relative number expressed in a percentage of people who had.
Oh yeah, if the people were 50, the percentage would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so they always talk about how this great medical or clinical trials show that like a 30% reduction in heart attacks because people took a statin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the relative risk. How many people had a heart attack that were taking versus weren't taking? Well, not very many people had the heart attack. And so if 2 people had it, that's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
David Diamond explains this in really good detail with the actual figures and not the I'm trying to remember stuff while I'm on a live stream.
Okay.
So anyway, I recommend you check that out, especially if you're a woman who has high cholesterol and your doctor wants you to take a statin, because there are some really gnarly side effects of taking statins. So, okay. Let's see. Elizabeth says, I've only had 1 seizure since my service dog. She senses them almost before they start.
Wow.
Wow,
That's awesome. Glad you have a service dog.
Andrea
so
says, my
amazing.
grandson is 5, and for the first time, he says clear as day to me the other day, Mama, Mommy isn't being a good girl. We both busted out crying and laughing. I love this kid alive. That's amazing. She says, thank you, everyone. It's really humbling to watch him improve. God is good.
That's so good.
Debbi says, the longer I'm keto, the easier it is, and it makes me never want to go back to the standard American diet. I'm sleeping better, losing weight, and up to 4:30 a.m. because now I feel so productive.
Yay!
The number one thing that made me want to stick to a ketogenic way of life was reading the book, The Big Fat Surprise by Nina Teicholz.
Yes, we have that signed by her.
Yeah, we do. That's true. Yeah, great book.
She's amazing. Her talks are really good too.
Yep. Shauna says, I just started Keto Chow 4 days ago. Seems I'm being kicked out of ketosis. Now, what do you mean by that? Are you testing your blood sugar or ketones, and they're changing after you eat? We have noticed that if people eat ground beef, their ketones will go down, much like you get when you eat Keto Chow. Actually, anything that you eat aside from absolutely pure fat, your ketones will go down after a meal, but then they will come back up. So I'm interested to know what you mean by kicked out of ketosis.
And is your glucose going up too? Yeah. Like a lot. So let us know a little bit more.
People bandy it about, and it's something that people say that doesn't have a lot of meaning, unfortunately. They also, a lot of times people will say spiked my glucose, and sometimes that means that it went up 10 points, and sometimes it means it went up 150 points.
So yeah, we just need more detail, I guess. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you really, the best place to ask things like that is we have a Facebook support group, which is really awesome for helping people out with questions like that. Also, our customer service team can take a lot of time to go through exactly what's going on with you. Now, neither of those can give medical advice.
Yeah, we are not doctors.
Not even close.
We're just random people. We
can look at the practical aspects of what you're experiencing and say, and the nice thing about the Facebook support group is people can say, I had such and such experience, and this is how I dealt with it. And, when I did this, I had this happen, and blah, blah, blah. So, anyway, and you can just find that, if you order from our website, the, hey, thanks for your order email has a link to the Facebook support group. Or just if you go on Facebook and you search for Keto Chow Facebook support group. It's one of the few, aside from the Keto Village and the Two Crazy Ketos family Facebook groups that don't get crazy negative, and it's really strange how some Facebook groups get.
Yeah, some keto groups.
Anyway. Let's see. Petite D is on. She says, hey, Mom and Papa Bear. The one night I could tune in.
Whoopsie. I'm glad you're here.
Widow says, such a beautiful share, Miriam and Andrea. Thanks for making me smile.
Oh, yeah. I'm just so happy that he's doing well.
Sarah says, I've been doing keto 2 weeks now and Keto Chow 2 days. I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh.
I tried heavy cream. My bad mistake.
Oh,
I
man.
tried coconut oil today. Less of a mistake, but still very sick. Any suggestions?
Try avocado oil. How much coconut oil did you use? Also, you could
Yeah.
maybe just try a little bit less. And you might want to just go a couple days without Keto Chow, get your system used to what
Back to
it's
normal.
eating, and then try even like maybe a half a serving of Keto Chow with the oil, and then see how you do with that. Because it's possible that you can't have it because of the dairy.
Yep.
Yep.
Because there is dairy protein in Keto Chow, and
Mhm.
there is about 0.6 grams of lactose per serving of Keto Chow. A lot of people who are lactose intolerant are absolutely fine with the amount of lactose that's in Keto Chow, but some people aren't.
Yep. And if you end up not being able to have it as a shake, you may be able to have it as a baked good or something like that. So you might be able to try making a fat bomb or making it into some of our recipes, because that does change things a little bit. And
Speaking of
so
fat bombs, I was talking with someone who
maybe something to try.
they could do Keto Chow with no fat and had no problems.
Yeah.
And then they were making all of the fat that they would have had in Keto Chow into fat bombs.
Okay.
And they were eating it separately. And
Yeah.
that worked great.
And the reason why you want to have fat with Keto Chow, if you have it outside of your Keto Chow or not, you want to have it at the same time, at least 10 grams, is because the vitamins in Keto Chow are fat absorbable.
Quite a bit of them are.
Is that the right words?
Fat soluble.
That's what I meant to say. I'm like, wait, that sounds weird. And so you want to be able to get those and absorb them. So you want to have some fat with them. You don't have to have a ton, really. You don't have to.
Sangra says, my cholesterol was the only thing that was a bit high when I saw my doctor. I told him I was not concerned. All my other levels were great.
Okay, awesome.
Linda says, I was on the max amounts of insulin and metformin, still had blood sugar at 200. Went on a keto diet, and after a few months, I'm off all prescription meds, including diabetes meds and blood pressure meds.
Oh,
Keto Chow has been
awesome.
really making it easier for me to keep up that success.
Linda, I'm so happy.
And Kim says, or listen to Dr. Barry, Dave Feldman, and many more.
Yeah,
he's the one that runs cholesterolcode.com.
There's a lot of people that have answers that we don't have all the answers. But
now, Serena says, I'm pondering trying vegan butter. Now, the problem with vegan butter is typically that means it's
probably not going to be fat.
Well, it's polyunsaturated fats.
Yeah.
That 42-day experiment that I did where I tried polyunsaturated fat versus saturated fat versus monounsaturated fat. The short version of it is, okay, a saturated fat, what that means is fatty acids are chains of carbon that have hydrogen on them. And there's a double bond in between each of the carbons and then a single bond on the hydrogens. If you have a monounsaturated fat, that means that one place in the line of carbon, there is, I actually misspoke. A regular fatty acid saturated, there's a single bond and then hydrogen coming off it.
Okay.
So big giant chain. In one spot on a monounsaturated, science class, Mr. Bair, nerd. On one spot on a monounsaturated, instead of the hydrogen just being connected to each other the carbon being connected to each other, there's a double bond instead of it being connected to the hydrogen. So there's a spot where it isn't saturated with hydrogen, just one.
Yes.
On a polyunsaturated, you have multiple spots where there's a double bond. That double bond is a weak point in the molecule. And what happens is that bond can easily be broken and oxygen can get in there.
So it's
oxidized. Yep. And when that happens, if you've ever smelled rancid oil,
that's what it is.
That is oxidized oil, and it causes inflammation and other problems. So a vegan butter will tend to be made from
like a vegetable
polyunsaturated fats.
Yeah.
And what they will also do, this is actually where Nina Teichel's, we talked about Big Fat Surprise.
Yeah.
She got her start because she was the one that blew up the problem with trans fats. Trans fats is where you take a polyunsaturated fat, like canola oil or soybean oil or all those other polyunsaturated fats, and you do a chemical process on them that makes them behave more like a saturated fat.
Yeah.
So you hydrogenate, add hydrogen to a polyunsaturated oil. So you'll see stuff about partially hydrogenated vegetable oil.
Yep. Which we've all heard that before.
That's where you take a liquid vegetable oil and you make it behave like butter so that it's solid at room temperature. You can spread it on your bread and stuff like that. I would never allow someone I care about to eat vegan butter just because of the health problems that's going to come along with it. If you can eat animal products, I would recommend that. If you have a philosophical reason for not eating animal products, I still would never recommend that you have something like vegan butter.
Coconut oil would be better,
Coconut
really,
oil
and
would be
that's
a lot better.
totally vegan. Really, not to science it up. When Chris was doing those oils, his plantar fasciitis came back with a vengeance, and he had not had that pain in like 2 years.
And that's despite having really high ketones at the time.
And the thing was, he was doing keto. He was in a ketotic state. He was burning ketones. He had the high ketones.
It's like 5.5.
And but he had that inflammation that was so painful. And that's the thing about like the K-Cal, the stuff they put you on in the hospital for seizures, that has the inflammatory oils. And yes, you can do keto with that. Like it's legit keto because it's high fat, low carb. Your body still accepts it, but that doesn't mean your body likes it. And so just something to think about when you're looking into those different things, depending on what the butter is made of, will make a difference, but we're just thinking it's probably out of those oils.
Yep. Coconut oil would be way better. Coconut manna, which is pureed coconut meat, so it has that coconutty, would also be really good as well.
Yep. Or coconut cream.
Yes, it would. Debbi says a friend of mine won't do keto because he's on blood pressure medication. Says he has to watch his cholesterol, so he can't eat all the fat and the things that I do on this diet.
That's so hard.
Check out some of the stuff.
Cholesterol code.
Well, or Dr. Bair has some really good stuff about that. Kim says, yeah, David Diamond, Dr. Nadir Ali. Yeah,
so good.
Oh, Kim says Dr. Ali is my cardiologist.
Oh, he's the nicest person on the planet, right? I love him so much. I
haven't seen him since...
He's so sweet. We haven't seen him since Houston.
Like 2019. Yeah. Let's see. We actually went to dinner with him. That was great.
Yeah, it was.
John says, yes, no more statins for me. Kim says, I put cream and tomato keto chow in my ground beef for dinner tonight.
Oh, we love doing that. That's awesome.
Let's see. Bluto says carnivore is the only thing that has ever helped my high blood pressure. Isn't that interesting? Let's see. Serena says, and the urge to vomit after drinking half a packet is killer. I may have used too much fat. I only have a 6-ounce stomach, so it gets tricky.
Oh, and then I would say be really careful.
Yes. Especially if you're post-op bariatric surgery, it makes things
I would probably try doing it without the fat and don't drink the whole thing.
Yes, I would recommend that as well. Well, this says pain, crazy, unbearable, inexplicable pain can be a side effect of statins. Oh, yes. John says my blood levels are not reading at all. Okay. Now, here's the funny thing. Well, we alluded to this. Two Crazy Ketos did a review of the Keto Mojo blood ketone meter, and they tested their blood ketones. Then they ate a bunch of ground beef and tested their blood ketones, and their blood ketones were I think they were,
it was like 0.2 or something.
Yeah,
and that was right after they ate. But two, if you want to try control, don't eat keto chow tomorrow and test your ketones tomorrow and see how it goes.
Yep.
Right.
And I personally don't worry about blood ketone levels. The only time I test that is when I'm doing an experiment.
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of times it's really easy to forget about all of the other things that you might be eating. I know it's easy, especially when I'm not tracking. It's a lot easier to snack. And if I have a string cheese here or a keto cookie there, like I'm eating a lot more food than maybe I should be or want to be. And so keep in mind, if you're eating anything else, if you're testing Keto Chow, that's the only thing you're eating. And you can, play with the fats, try it without fat, try it with just 10 grams of fat, whatever, and then test just that. And that might make a difference. Because if you had even some coffee with cream beforehand, and then Keto Chow after that, or, any variable, if you want to test it, right, have it be that one thing.
Miriam gets mad at me for changing multiple variables at the same time.
Which he's done really good at not doing that for years, as a matter of fact.
Kat says, this past weekend, 2 of my friends asked to try my shakes, which prompted a 3-hour conversation.
Oh, man.
I think we ordered the starter pack today. Let's see. Kim says, I don't worry about levels. I eat or fast, exercise, enjoy low-carb ketovore, and occasionally Keto Chow 2 times a week.
That's awesome.
Older Pennsylvanian recommended the book Sugar Blues. Nice.
Cool.
Let's see. Serena says, the Keto Chow I have tasted are addictive. Okay.
Yeah, well, they're pretty sweet tasting.
Jerry says, I stopped at Costco this weekend. They had the Tillamook zero sugar beef jerky, 0 carbs, totally delicious. I've had that before. It's good stuff.
I have heard about that. That's awesome.
Let's see. Serena says, eggnog is off the chain good.
Nice.
Andrew says, I don't even monitor my blood. I just go with how I feel daily.
And I can tell too. I can tell how I'm feeling because I've done this long enough that I know my body and I can tell. Another thing is I can tell when I get stressed out and I get kicked out because this morning I woke up and I felt like I didn't go to bed. I was just so tired. And then I'm walking. So I walk 5 miles or something this morning with my friend. And I'm like, why am I so tired on a Tuesday? I'm never this tired on a Tuesday, but I had a pretty stressful day yesterday. And so I think it was just the stress that made me stressed. And so I just didn't get enough sleep. But
yep.
Anyway.
So Amy wants to know, they're heading to Salt Lake in a couple weeks, so I'll be close to the store. So
Salt Lake is about 30 minutes away.
So
depending on where you're going.
There we go. So Salt Lake International Airport is right here. Salt Lake City itself is right there.
About 15 minutes from the airport.
And Keto Chow is down at the southern end. Is that it?
No. Nope, that's our house.
Down at the southern end of the Salt Lake Valley.
Yep.
Oh, it's right.
Yeah, it's right there.
So, yeah, there it is. Keto Chow.
Keto Chow.
If you actually just type Keto Chow into Google Maps, you'll find it very easily. So, yeah, it's about 30 minutes away from Salt Lake.
And the freeway, see that yellow line? That's the freeway. It goes right to the airport. It's super fast to get there if you are going to the airport. Yeah. We would love to see you. You should come visit us.
Serena says, you're very informative. Take that back. I had no idea the dairy in it. I probably did use too much coconut oil. I used 2 ounces. Oh, that is quite a bit. So I'm going to try 1 spoon of coconut oil, mix with water and chow. Drink a quarter of a shake at a time. See if I can build a tolerance. You guys?
Yeah. Dude, just be careful. You need to take care of yourself.
Yep. Elizabeth says, you should have a live stream just for nerds. Something like that. Kim says, Kerrygold is the best. Serena says, oh, Science 101 for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, I actually never took chemistry in high school.
Yeah.
And so when I learned all these things about polyunsaturated fats and monounsaturated fats, I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. That's why it's okay.
See, I took chemistry. I actually loved my human biology class. That was one of my favorite classes. But I just kind of think chemistry is a little bit boring. Okay. So that's okay.
Yep.
We all have different things we like.
Anthony says, so single packages, spicy taco to how much beef? When we make taco season our ground beef, we usually put 1 serving of the taco in with 5 pounds of beef, and it absorbs all the liquid and makes it an amazing sauce.
Yeah, which you could do it with 3 pounds and it would probably still be good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But we do massive amounts of food.
Well, and I keep joking. I only know how to cook for 20.
Yeah.
So.
We should stop having 20 kids.
Well, the thing is, we can make a bunch and stick it in the fridge, and then they eat it for the next couple days.
Yeah. Which there's some in there now.
Serena just got a Keto Mojo and says the chat has been very helpful. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Andrew says I start with 10 grams of fat if you're on a weight loss surgery patient. Work yourself
Yes.
with the fat, otherwise you'll dump.
And you don't want to. That feels, that's so yucky.
That is, yeah.
I'm allergic to tracking anything, Jerry.
Kim says I'm going to try a teaspoon of avocado oil with almond milk next week. Sorry, I am skipping a bit because I'm trying to catch up on, because we're going a bit over time. We try to keep this an hour to respect people's time, and we've got an hour and 15 now.
Oopsie.
John says, I feel like if I had low blood glucose when I was 86 today, which means my body is getting used to being type 2 reversed.
Hey.
Jeannie says, I loved your visit with Wendy and Harry. Looked like so much fun and enjoyed seeing
It was really fun. We had a good time. They're little puppies.
They didn't show the part where we showed them the giant pallet of Keto Chow that's black licorice for Joe.
Oh. That didn't happen.
No, that didn't happen. Melissa says, I'm not new to Keto Chow and always use butter or heavy whipping cream, but I prepare Pina Colada and orange cream using coconut oil. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Nice.
You know what else they didn't show? Me trying on Wendy's shoes.
Okay.
In the video. I know that's not important.
Yep. Kim says, because Dr. Ali has tried to get me to reduce fats, all Keto Chow thus far has had 0 fats, but only unsweetened almond milk and some water. We'll slowly add avocado in the mix and see how I feel.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Jerry says consume mass quantities. Denise says I just gasped out loud. Said chemistry is boring.
I told you we're not the same. It's okay.
You know what? We're not the same.
We don't have to be the same.
We don't have the same interests in a lot of things.
We both like keto.
And that's okay.
That's fine.
I wouldn't want someone that was exactly like me because otherwise,
it would be boring.
It would be boring.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda says low ketones do not mean you're out of ketosis. I don't believe in the 0.5 rule. The longer you're in ketosis, the higher your possibility of lower ketones because your body knows how to utilize them.
Dr. Bair actually told me that in person. Joe and I were having a conversation with him, and he was saying, well, you probably just use your ketones better. And I'm like, that's right, I do.
Well, and as time goes on, you stop burning ketones so much as you are burning fat directly.
Yeah.
So, Kim says, thank you for spending time with us.
Yes, thanks for spending time with
Heather
us.
has to take Boji for a walk and get ready for bed.
I want to go with you.
Let's see. Songbird says, nice to be with you all. Finally getting settled here in Oklahoma. And Kim Pugh likes Oklahoma. Casey Smurf says, Chris is like that scene in Billy Madison. Chlorophyll? More like
chlorophyll. So that's me. I'm like, just kidding.
Santa's up here, and this girl keeps trying to make out with me.
Gross.
The thing is, I still love you, Miriam.
Aw, I love you too.
Sonella says, I measure blood ketones, and I've been around 0.5 most of the time. Does the number mean anything? No. Having higher ketones does not mean that you will lose weight faster or not. It just means that it's a higher number. And the only time that you need higher numbers of ketones is when you need to treat a neurological condition. There's some really interesting stuff about higher ketones for, epilepsy, for Alzheimer's. There's actually some promising research about giving exogenous ketones, so like ketone drink things, to football players that have just suffered a concussion.
Yes, we learned that. Who was that taught us that?
That was Willie Villarreal.
Oh yes.
Because if you give a concussion sufferer ketones, it allows the brain to have energy because the body says, hey, maybe we should leave all these ketones for the brain. And the brain says, give me. And so even in a damaged state, the brain can still metabolize ketones, or that's the theory.
Yeah.
And so the outcomes for athletes who have had an injury, a brain injury, are significantly improved in some of the preliminary studies that they've done. So, yeah, having higher ketones or depression, things like that. If you're treating a neurological condition, higher
Mm-hmm.
ketones are cool.
Epilepsy, depression,
If you're
Alzheimer's.
trying to lose weight, higher ketones are interesting, but they do not indicate that they just mean that, hey, whatever it is you're doing is making you produce ketones.
Yes.
Having lower ketones does not necessarily mean that you're not. So if that's as terrible of an answer as I can give, sorry.
Terrible.
Andrew says, I did watch that today while I was walking on the trail and enjoyed seeing your storefront in the warehouse. I put a face on one of your employees that packed my order. Let's see. Marla says, and Parkinson's. Yes, that's true.
Oh, for sure. Parkinson's. Yeah.
Casey Smurf says, I believe unless you're doing keto for therapeutic reasons, checking ketones is kind of a moot thing. At least with urine strips, not sure about breath tests. Well,
yeah, it just depends on what you're really doing. Like if you're really worried about it, yes, you should check. Yes. But I also think you should check your glucose as well, because I feel like they track together. If your glucose is high, your ketones are going to be low. And so a lot of times you don't even need a ketone meter, because if your glucose is high, you know that your ketones should be low.
Yep.
So that's, I mean, at least with my tracking, I've noticed that too.
And Shonda says, because I usually only eat 10 net carbs or less a day. And if you eat fewer than 10 net carbs a day,
you should
for
have
longer than
ketones.
2 or 3 days, your body will be in a ketotic state, whether or not you're showing blood ketones.
Yep.
So, or rather, you'll be in a fat burning state, I guess would be a better way to say it. Let's see. Jerry says, eat more bacon. Patty says, lower ketones could mean you're more efficient at using them. And Blue says, my mom had Parkinson's. Okay, we're going to go. We've got kids downstairs that are probably wondering where we are.
Hey, yeah.
And yes, so thank you, everybody, for joining us. This was actually a really good live stream.
Really nerdy one.
Yeah, nerd. Okay, but yeah, everybody have a nice day. We'll actually be on tomorrow morning. So.
Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you, and you're amazing. Don't forget how awesome you are, and your body is awesome.
Yes. All right. Bye.
Bye.